So, Joseph, what's in the works for the Titty Babies, and what does your band think of their quirky lead singer living in a van?
Well, I think they like me, or they would have kicked me out by now. But we have a show coming up on the 13th. It's in a Schlongview or Longview, and then we sent out our demos, and we've been hearing back from a couple people. We're just setting up more shows, and yeah, we have the demo on Reverb Nation, at Titty Babies 1 on Reverb Nation, and yeah, we're just playing out now. We just got to get the word out, and hopefully those dudes like me, because I'm not going anywhere. So I don't know. I'm doing a lot right now, but that's my favorite thing. I don't know.
Maybe they'll decide they don't like you, and then you'll say, okay, well, time to hit the road.
Yeah, when this band is over, I will that's when I'm going to plan on hitting the road. That's why I'm in town, but it's worth it. I mean, I wouldn't stay.
Right on. Do you sell your Beavis and Butthead jewelry at your shows?
I don't sell them at the shows. I sell them at a shop here in Portland called Naked City. It's like a punk rock shop.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm gonna get my Trinket Ink site back up again. It just I need like a better business plan. I was spending more money to post the pictures than I was making, because there's a lot of competition, and I'm not like super as you've seen with the internet, I'm not insanely savvy. I think I need to like get a laptop and like like a little bit more gear so I can manage the YouTube channel and the Etsy shop and the band pages, and yeah, I'm in the works. I'm kind of rambling, but
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. No, thank you for answering. I was wondering.
So this is a question that you and I talked about during the tech check yesterday, and I prepped you like, okay, come on, and then answer this question right away. And now it's been, an hour and 10 minutes. How did you manage to become an RV dweller?
The time delay is a little weird. Okay, what question?
Anthony Browse, Mr. Virgo 67, asks, I don't think you ever covered this on your channel, but how did you manage to become an RV dweller?
I actually I found a first RV video. I don't even remember who it was. It was a link on YouTube, but my foot was broken, and as you can tell, I always do a million things at once. But I was held up. I couldn't move, and I found a van dwelling video. Or an RV video. It might have even been Eric's video. I don't remember because I've watched so many now. It's kind of like one clusterfuck of RVing now. But I just was thinking when my foot was broken, I couldn't walk for a while, and it was the first time since I was about 15. I didn't work 50 hours a week and go to school or something. And I was like, I've never relaxed since I was 15. It's been a long time, and I was thinking about how I could work less. And, be a human, live life and not just, work and pay my bills. And rent here has gone up substantially, especially since Portlandia came out. I'm not going to lie. And I just don't like living with people off Craigslist. And I've always liked living alone, and I can't work on music when I live with other people. So it was just, for me, it just made sense. I looked into tiny homes, and that was, upwards of, $25,000, and I definitely didn't have that chunk of change. So this just seemed like the right option, and honestly, I kind of put it out into the world and said it's what I wanted to do, and all these things started falling into place, so I just kind of thought it was meant to be. And I think it is. I'm really happy. I haven't been this happy in a really long time.
Awesome.
I'm all good feelings, yeah. Sorry.
No, I mean, I can totally connect with what you're saying. There's a lot of people that aren't going to understand, any of that kind of thinking. But I can relate for sure. That's cool.
Yeah, and somebody was one of the trolls that was removed earlier. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'm going to put it into the edited video too, because now I'm getting brigaded with. So, John, are you a nomad? Because you haven't moved in 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah, poser.
I am. I said it last week. when you get in and you start dividing up, chopping up this nomad community into smaller and smaller sections, you're just don't be dumb, because because people will come at me and say, you haven't moved in 6 months, you're not a real RVer, you're not a nomad. And then I can turn around and say that Justin Credible isn't a real RVer because he never leaves the city that he's in, or because he works at the same big box store job, or people say, well, Pippi's not a real nomad because she stays in one place, and although she clearly doesn't, she moves not every day, and so there's no limit on how far or how often you need to move. It's about your attitude. Right now, my contract is up, and my last day at Sprouts will be Friday, February 12th, unless I find something sooner, and I have no idea where I'm going to go. At this point, I could go to Portland or San Jose or Austin, or, God, I've gotten several offers from Philadelphia, but I'm not going to Philadelphia.
You said Seattle.
Yep. I've got a friend here in Phoenix who has been bugging me to go over to join her health company, and so I'm expecting an interview there. So for me, it's more about having the ability it's more about having the ability than it is really exercising that. I don't have a lease, and I can pull the slide in, pull the jacks up, and leave tomorrow if I want. And that to me is a huge, huge thing. Going beyond that, having the ability to pull out my passport and get on a flight to Ho Chi Minh City and go to Vietnam for 6 months, which is something I'm actually considering.
I just don't get why people.
That's something I don't know how realistic it is, but there's global demand for my skill set, and so part of me is like, put the RV in storage and deal with the quarantine for the cats wherever I decide to go, which won't be Australia because they have 182-day quarantine. No, thank you. But yeah, get the hell out of the U.S. for 6 months or whatever and go do a contract someplace hot.
Makes sense.
I think it would be fun as hell. Eric, what are your thoughts on slide outs?
I'm not intrigued. I'm just getting bits and pieces of it, but I think I got the gist.
I'd like to hear other people's ideas on slide outs. I think I've talked about it several times. Because of the lifestyle I live as far as boondocking, when the slides are in their compacted stage, which is meant to be only used when driving, and then as soon as you park, you open it up and then you get to enjoy your living space for the most part, I would say. For me, keeping a lower profile while boondocking overnight means I'm probably not going to want to send those slides out because that draws a lot of attention to the fact that I'm getting more comfortable. And when those slides are in that compact position, the RV is, to me, nearly unusable, and it's the walkways are so narrow, and it's not a livable thing overnight. It's not comfortable for me. So if I was not trying to boondock and kind of do the stealth camping thing in the city sometimes, then maybe I would consider a slide out. But I would only enjoy it if I got to deploy that slide out every single night and have the same interior layout.
Yeah, I think there's some like Class Bs, or there are actually some Class As and some Class Cs that I've seen recently where the slide is actually in the back wall, and so
I've seen that one too.
It slides to the back.
That's true.
And
that's true.
I can't imagine this van getting any bigger. Like, I don't know. I kind of like that it's like a little nest. I kind of dig that.
Well, that was Joe's question. Will you? Can you see yourself upgrading to something bigger at some point?
Well, maybe. I guess if I was like gonna stay somewhere for like a really, really long time, like on a farm or something. But I just, I thought I'd get claustrophobic in here and not like it, but it's just kind of like maybe I'm just very adaptable. But I think it's a fine size. It's like 19 feet, and I mean, I kind of got a ghetto booty. I run into things. Like, I think I've, like, literally knocked almost all the handles off of all the drawers with my butt at one point, or gotten stuck on them and tripped. But no one can see it, so it's cool.
Sounds like you're comfortable in what you have, but I would ask the same question. Like, I don't know, if you were just ever to try a bigger Class A or something, you know, it's always, you know, curious to see, would someone go back to a van later, or would they just stay with what they're at? I certainly...
The thought of driving a Class A everywhere, honestly, like even driving this van... even driving this van for me, because I've always had, like, I had a Dodge Colt, and I have, like, a 91 Corolla for my commuter car. Like, this is the biggest thing I've ever driven besides, like, a U-Haul every once in a while. So, like, I'm not going to lie, like, this takes getting used to. Like, that's kind of why I wanted to live in it first and take it to dump the takes and take it on, like, smaller trips. And then, like, eventually, like, well, the band thing has to pan out, but, like, I'm kind of doing this in baby steps because, like, this is kind of foreign to me. I've never driven anything this big. But driving it in the snow was so fun. I made it my bitch. Super fun.
I'm terrified driving in the snow.
Oh, I was too, but I had bronchitis and my tanks were full. So I had to. Like, I had to empty my tanks because I was really sick. Oh. And so, like, it was one of those kind of, like, fight or flight. Like, this sucks, but it needs to be done. So I did it, and it was actually, I don't know, maybe it's because I was crazy from having bronchitis and I was on a bunch of medication. But it was fun. That didn't sound as good coming out of my mouth as it did inside my head, but you know.
Yeah. I field another question here from just in case is asking Eric, what was the worst job that you ever worked? Besides YouTube, I would say the worst job I ever had was a job where the turnover rate with management was higher than most employees at the time. I was working for a place called The Reef, downtown Olympia, and the owner of the restaurant actually passed away. And then after that, management above me just kept, switching over every 6 months. And it got to the point where, they would come in and then not listen to the cooks and people that were involved and knew how to run the business. And they just instantly wanted to ignore everything and just take over it in a new way. So, everything kept getting restarted. At least it got restarted 3 times while I worked there. And everybody seems to think that they can just come in and automatically run the business better without taking any advice from the people who are there and know how much storage there really is and what is actually sold more than other items and stuff. So, for a period there, that job was a little stressful and probably the worst job that I've ever had, probably.
Yeah, for me, the worst job I ever had was a temp job. I was living in McMinnville, Oregon, and there's a plastic manufacturing facility there. And for 3 days, I ran an injection molding plastic machine, which has got these gigantic plates that have got dies on either side and this huge hydraulic ram. And so the hydraulic ram comes and comes together with an incredible amount of force, and then it injects the plastic, and then the thing pulls back, and you have to reach in and grab the hot plastic with your hand and pull it out before the thing slams shut again. And so you have to open the door, reach in, grab it, shut the door, and then while it's doing its thing, you're snipping the pieces off of the sprue.
It logged me off. What are you talking about? This sounds horrible. I was like, what is going on? She got real in the last 30 seconds.
So yeah, that was the worst job. It was incredibly hot. The factory floor, despite having 35-foot ceilings, the factory floor in November was still about 85 degrees. And you had about 15 seconds for each repetition. It was the most mind-numbing, worst job I've ever had in my entire life.
My worst job was Sunday school.
I could totally see that.
No, I don't know anything about Jesus, really. I mean, I know the basics, like Easter and shit. But my dad got me a job because he's a mortician, and all the kids would correct me most of the time, and they just only let me play the devil in the puppet show. I was allowed to be in charge of tag and make snacks. And so that was all I did.
That was the best job ever.
It was, except for I played a really good devil.
I'm shocked to hear that.
Oh, shut up. No, but I was like, so that part was fun. But yeah, I had so many kids correcting me about God all day. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to do a slow back out here before I corrupt anyone's, children for life. It's too much responsibility.
Sarah, do you have to bleach your hair before you dye it purple?
Oh, heck yeah. I got, here, look at my roots. I got dark hair. You kind of have to fry the shit out of it until it turns, trailer trash orange. And then you can throw purple over it. But you do, yeah. Or I have to. If you're blonde, you don't have to, but I do. My whole shower is purple.
How'd that happen?
I like it. I know I've really moved into a place when the shower turns purple. I'm like, yay! Because I've had purple hair since I was 15. Well, usually.
Now Kathy can ask your question directly.
Kathy Mango. That's a cool name. Kathy Mango.
She was here and then she was not here.
Bye. I don't know. I can see you. You're the only person I can see on here right now.
Okay, yeah, that's the only person here. One for me.
Everyone else is like, peace out.
John, loved your guitars sound. Loved your guitars. They sound beautiful, awesome. Although my playing is shit. Oh my god. Do you sing while playing sounds like it sounds like you have a strong voice? I cannot carry a fucking tune in a bucket. I can't carry a tune in a bucket.
Have you tried?
Yes. I love to sing
Okay.
in the car when I'm by myself.
That's the only place I ever sang before this band.
I do.
Well, in the shower.
I do subscribe to a YouTube channel called New York Vocal Coach. And so after watching that channel off and on for almost 2 years now, I am slightly better than I was when I started. But,
I follow a girl named Felicia, who's a vocal teacher. I do those too.
Yeah.
But YouTube's kind of great for that.
Oh, man.
I have a real lesson tomorrow for guitar. And
Awesome.
Kind of nervous.
Awesome.
Kind of. I haven't played guitar, but I'm tired of going into practice and speaking of Jack Black, but I'll have to be like, da da down, 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 down. People are like, what are you talking about? I look like an asshole. So I want to at least be able to show my guitar player what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'm a little familiar with that. It was, like I said, I actually wound up in more shows than you've been in so far. I was in a band.
I'm working on it.
I was in a band in McMinnville, and God, we sucked, but we played 3 shows.
Was that the name of the band?
The name of the band was Circle. Most imaginative fucking name ever.
Was Square taken?
Square was taken. It would have been better. It would have been much better descriptive of who we were.
L7. I'm just kidding. I didn't even mean it like that. But that's funny. Sorry. Am I supposed to be reading these and answering them, or do you ask me them? Does it matter?
Usually, well, you can pick them up and read them if you want. I'm looking for one that's good for us all to answer.
And I'm intrigued this whole time. I can hear you, but sometimes there's a delay. So if I seem checked out, it's just the connection.
Yeah.
Maybe we should, once I have better technologies, I would love to do this again a little more fluidly and be in the thick of the action before it cuts me out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. At some point, when you've got your laptop and you can go park your happy ass outside of Google Starbucks and take advantage of their fiber connection and their Wi-Fi, you are definitely, like all of our guests will eventually come back. We want to do a 6-month check-in and say, so how you doing now?
Hi. Still kicking.
So, what is your policy on hitchhikers? We know Eric's policy is only if they're cute.
Mine would be fuck to the no. Sorry.
I think it depends entirely on who it is. When I lived in Denver for a while, I had a 2005 Jeep Wrangler, and during the summer and almost into the winter, I had the hardtop off, so there was no top and no doors. And it would be, particularly when the weather was kind of crappy, like it was looking like it was going to rain or it was windy, or I would just ride around with the top off the Jeep and blast the heater, and no fucks given. And I would pull up to people at the bus stop. They're all bundled up and all shitty, and they're waiting for a bus that's going to be 15 minutes away. And I'd pull up and I'd be like, "Get in," and they'd be like, "No." I'm like, "It's a Jeep. If you don't like where we go, we pull up to a red light, you jump out and run away." And so, after making that incredibly strong argument, I've had about 50% of people go, "Oh, yeah, okay." So Sarah's sort of out.
I can see you but not hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
And we can hear you but not see you.
I can see her and hear her.
Oh, dude. Melissa Chambeau asks, will we see Miami this year, Eric?
Can you hear?
Well, actually, yes. Yeah, at some point I will probably go through Miami. I can almost promise you that I will not be boondocking in Miami, but I have to pass through Miami. I probably will park somewhere and shoot some video somewhere on the outskirts of Miami. I don't have a passion to hang out in Miami, though, so we'll see.
Wait, I thought it was going to be like a safety thing, but...
Well, I don't even want to call it...
Miami's got good neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods, too. Go find a Walmart in a good neighborhood.
And I could do that, too. The problem is... for me, when I'm visiting some of these big cities and I really want time to explore during the entire day, that's a day where I usually want to schedule it on the one day of the week where I had to be at an RV park to get fresh water and dump the tanks and stuff. I don't think boondocking in those cities is always something I want to do, but I mean, I can't say right now where I'm going to be when I pass through Miami. So I will be going through and just see what happens when we get there.
Randy Neubauer, you're going to the Florida Keys, Eric?
I am going to the Keys. For sure, I'm going all the way to Key West. I want to drive my RV as far into the Key West where that little thing is that people take pictures all the time, and I want to take my picture there. I've been warned, as some other places, that it's really hard to boondock anywhere in those Keys, from Key Largo all the way west. And so I'm going to prove everybody wrong and show you where I park every day.
That's going to be an awesome series of videos to watch.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Because my prediction is that it's going to be. I think that you're going to have some success, but I don't know that you're going to have as much success as you're expecting right now. I think that Key West is a little police heavy. Like the
right.
whole Florida Keys is a little police heavy.
Right.
And like Phil Campbell was saying, you're going to get moved along.
You're going to get moved along, but I mean, I can certainly move every 10 hours as well. I can sleep in a different spot that I park the next day and go on foot. And that way, the different shifts and stuff that happens, hopefully I'll be able to stay on top of it. But like I said, you'll be right there with me, everybody on YouTube. So we'll see how it works.
Mystic Virgo says, I pictured Eric finally stopping when the RV begins to float.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going all the way.
That sounds like when the RV starts to float.
I was almost floating last night. All of us, our tires were almost up to halfway on the tire line. That water was flooded.
Ooh, scary.
Yeah.
Kathy again, do you use a lot of gas? I'm not sure I can afford to leave the power pole. Even with gas as cheap as it is?
Yeah. I'm still running the generator often. I run it for at least 10 minutes every day just to make my coffee. when I'm not getting really good solar, I run the generator. So, I talked about maybe, telling people, ooh, I get 8 to 10 miles per gallon in the RV traveling. Well, it probably would be more than that if I wasn't running the generator because it feeds out of the same tank. I consider gasoline and propane are just extra expenses, and especially when you're heating and keeping your refrigerator cool on propane, it's an expense that I just have to kind of accept sometimes, I guess.
Yeah, that's something that when you were here in December, we kind of sat down and looked at what are we spending, and our costs are about the same. You're spending like $600 a month in gas, and I'm spending $600 a month in park fees.
Exactly.
You guys are high rollers. I'm on a lower end of that spectrum.
I'd rather put it in the gas tank than into an apartment that I don't own, though. That not...
I do about 200 and then like pay for the propane for a spot that I pay for
Look at that face that she's stuck on.
Propane.
I heard propane is an expense. Yep.
Maybe we're all stuck on different. You were teasing me about the funny face that I got stuck on last night. You should have seen the one you got stuck on just now, Sarah.
You mind? I don't know what you're talking about. I like cool all the time. You guys are stuck like every 12 seconds. Like, I don't think I've ever been this quiet in my life. I just can't quite make out what's going on. I definitely want to do a redo, but I'm not giving up on this. But it's a little tricky on my end.
What has been your best job, Sarah?
My best job? Probably the one I'm doing, or else I never stay at jobs I don't like. I won't do anything in life I don't like. Like, life's short, so if I don't like it, I'm out of there. But I love cake decorating. Like, I'm a total art dork, and I really like this job. I get to be creative every day and eat frosting. I mean, what more can you really ask for in a job? I mean, I just like this one. I know I've worked in a mom and pop bakery. I did like that more. I worked for a corporation. I guess my favorite job was working for like a mom and pop bakery. But I had to do something where I'm creative. Like, I've worked in office jobs, but never more than 2 weeks because I always got in trouble for like being too loud. And I snort, so everyone always knew it was me. Same reason, like in school, I got kicked out of class every time. I just am too loud, and my voice carries, and I don't know. But I like cake decorating. That's probably my best job, besides the jewelry thing, but I wouldn't call that a job quite yet.
Have you considered stand-up, Sarah? Pam Linnell says, you are pretty darn funny.
I'm like, I'd sit down and do stand-up. I'm lazy, but I don't know. I've gone and watched like amateur shows before. I've heckled once. I got kicked out right before I went and saw an open mic, and I guess I was heckling. I had a lot of Long Island iced teas, and they kicked me out of the Helium Comedy Club for heckling.
Nice.
It was kind of embarrassing, but I don't know. I would put it on my bucket list. I don't think it's my calling necessarily, but I don't know. If it scares the shit out of me, I'll try it at least twice usually. I'd give it a shot.
What was your most memorable RV experience?
Not a glamorous one, but what's up?
You haven't had a mouse yet, so.
I can't hear you, so I'm going to keep going. But I guess memorable RV experience, it's gross, but it's still the first time I dumped that freaking Blackwater tank. I did not know what was going to happen. And I literally pretty much just flooded my shoes with turds. It was disgusting. I'll never forget that magical moment. There's a visual, you motherfuckers. I know that's gross, but that would probably be my most memorable moment. But I think I'm cool on reliving that ever again. I think I'm solid.
You think you're solid?